So go ahead and find child's pose. You only need about 10 minutes for this, so we're only going to hold these poses for a considerably shorter time than we would normally. But it's good to just kind of get out of your head, get into your body, and clear the slate, so to speak. So let's find that nice big child's pose. Knees are nice and wide, big toes touch, and try to snuggle your ribs down inside the thighs. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and bring my head to a block and interlace my fingers on the outside of that block. If you don't have a block, you can use a pillow, you can use a block or a book, you can use a dog. Well, the dog might move too much. So this is a really good time to just let it go. Maybe just repeat it to yourself. Let it go. None of it matters. It's over. I can't change it now. Let it go. So go ahead and release the hands if you have them interlaced. Start to walk your hands up and just move that block out of the way. Slide the knees together and maybe come up to a tabletop. So just taking a few cat-cows here, articulating through the spine, maybe a little side-to-side action. I like to swing my hips, wagging my tail, so to speak. Rounding through the back, hollow out the belly, press the hands into the mat. And then lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the head, heart, and shoulders between the gateway of the arms. Exhale, tailbone curls, round the belly, hollow out the belly as you round through the upper shoulders, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the heart, belly drops, head comes up last. One more just like that. And then inhale, lift. And because whenever we get worked up, really worked up, our hips get nice and tight. We're going to get into those hips a little bit here. So go ahead and lift the tailbone up and back. Find your way to a downward facing dog. Press the heels down towards the mat. Walk your big toes into touch and work the hands away from you. So you're pressing your mat out and away. Heels are working down towards the mat. Look between the knees. Maybe look up towards the belly button. Go ahead and lift that right leg off the mat. So keep the hips square here. We're not really trying to win any yoga Olympics. And we're just going to step that right foot outside the right hand. Left knee comes down to the mat. So the left knee is in the middle of the mat. Your right foot is almost off the mat here. And you're just going to turn your toes to face the upper right corner of your mat or outside of that corner. And then spin onto the pinky toe side of that foot. So go ahead and drop your hips down here. Bring your right arm onto your right thigh and release your left toes. So this might be enough. You don't need anything else. You can look out over that back shoulder. So you're looking out to your left foot over your right shoulder. Maybe you're watching your blocks blow across the yard. And then just go ahead and come back through center. So plant that foot down. Heel toe it towards the middle of your mat. Curl the left toes under, bring your left knee off the mat, and keep heel toeing the right foot across your mat until you can lower the knee down so your shin is across the top of your mat. So here we are, pigeon pose, everybody's favorite. From here, you can stay here. Hips are square. The shin is parallel-ish to the top of your mat. And then maybe, again, with that handy-dandy block, you might bring the forehead down onto the block and settle into this shape. So just counting to yourself here, 10 breaths. It's all it takes. None of it matters. All that matters is right here and right now. See if you can release some stress, some tension. I'm going to go ahead and lift your head off the block if you're on it. Move that block out of the way. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Curl the left toes under and sweep that right leg up and open. So coming back to that that downward facing dog, pedaling out the hips. Hands are shoulder width, squaring off the shoulders. A pissy mood is no reason for poor body alignment. Lift the hips up and back, bend the knees to give yourself some length through the back body, and then press the heels down towards the mat. 5 breaths. So try not to use these 5 breaths to relive your day. Try to use these 5 breaths to come into whatever is going on in your body without judging, just noticing. At the end of that 5th breath, go ahead and look up towards the left hand. Sweep the left leg up and back, and then exhale it forward, finding that same lizard shape on the other side. So the right knee comes down, the left toes point towards the outside corner of your mat. Release the right foot, roll onto the outside of the left foot. Maybe use your hand here, giving yourself a little bit of leverage. Looking behind you, and just notice maybe one side is a little different than the other. If this shape does not do anything for you, you can absolutely come down onto your forearm and maybe deepen it here. Maybe you spin all the way down onto both forearms. At this point, you're probably pretty close to those 10 breaths. So let's go ahead and walk the hands back up if they're not already. One more deep stretch into this shape. See if you can push the right hip towards the mat as you open up into the left leg. Bring both hands to the mat, curl the right toes under, press the right foot to the mat and start to walk it in and then over towards the right. Knee comes down, chin parallel-ish. Release that right foot one more time. Setting up your pigeon shape. Maybe staying nice and tall if you enjoy a deep back bend. Maybe settling down over the forearms. Coming back to that block. So blocks are super handy. They have 3 levels. So one of them is going to work. Blocks also come in different sizes. So if one shape or size doesn't work, maybe just get a different shape and size. If you don't like the block, you can come all the way down onto the mat. Maybe walking your hands out overhead. I'm going to back out of that because it sounds weird on the microphone. And then walking the hands back up. This time we're going to slide onto the right hip and sweep left hip and sweep the right leg up and around, coming to any shape that's comfortable for you to find a nice easy seat, maybe easy pose or crisscross applesauce. Maybe a lotus or a half lotus, whatever works for you here. And then just roll your shoulders back and down. Lift your head up nice and high. At this point, you should have reframed your day a little bit. Maybe you've let it go. Just notice how calm you are. Notice how all of that is in the past and you are now ready to go forward. If that little practice didn't do it for you and you have more time, I'm pretty sure I have a vinyasa class that will knock whatever ails you out and put you in a better mood, maybe a longer yin. Just roll the shoulders back and down. Sit up nice and tall. And then maybe setting the intention to just let that shit go and start with a clean slate.